All right, welcome everyone. So today we have in room 4 this networking exchange some presenters from North and Southern Africa. So I can see Bessie Malila, welcome Bessie. And he will kick us off with the first presentation. We are expecting 3 presentations, but I'm yet to see the other presenters join. But other than that, I think Bessie will kick us off. So after the presentation, if the other presenters have not joined, then the floor will be open for a Q&A session. Everybody is welcome. If by now you don't know each other yet, you are more than welcome to introduce yourself via the chat. So Bessie, please may you check if you can share your screen.
Thank you. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Okay.
So we are seeing your slides on the side. If you can maybe toggle to the presenter mode.
Is this okay? I'm in presentation mode, or should I just share my screen?
No, that's fine. We can just see the next slide already on the side. So I don't know if you want to toggle through another view.
Oh, okay. Let me.
If you go there to this, I think it is display settings or.
Okay, I think let me just. I'll just share my screen as it is. Okay, but then you'll see the screens on the side.
No,
okay.
You can put it in slideshow.
Oh, okay.
On the full screen.
Into slide mode. Is that better?
1 second, it's still coming up. Now click it again for full screen.
To full screen, okay. Okay. Is it okay now?
It went back to the PowerPoint view. Not sure why.
Yeah. Let me see.
That's the correct option. Share on your behalf.
Sorry?
I could share on your behalf, and then you'll just tell me to proceed to the next slide.
Okay. Okay, you can share, and I
but
can't
it's
see
fine.
the option. Maybe
it's fine in that way also, Bessie, the way you had it before.
Okay. Like this?
That's fine. You may go ahead.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Bessie Malila. I'm from the University of Cape Town. I'm in the Faculty of Health Sciences, in the Division of Biomedical Engineering. I'm doing research in telemedicine, and my research group that I lead is Telemedicine and Connected Care. So when I was asked to do this presentation, I thought, well, I know very little about data science. I'm an engineer, I'm a biomedical engineer. So I had to look up what data science is all about, and that's the definition I got of data science. And from the definition, I think some of you who are already in data science might know this, the aspects of algorithm processes, extraction of insights, from data, combination of statistics, computer science, machine learning. All those aspects are something that we deal with as engineers every day as we do our research. So the primary goal of data science is to uncover patterns, in valuable patterns and information that could make that could help make informed decisions. Yeah, in the real world, in our case, in the field of health sciences. And so the data science in health sciences, those are some of the use cases or applications of data science.
Sorry to interrupt you, Bessie. Are you advancing your slides? Because we can't see the next slide. We still just see the full screen of the first slide.
I'm on number 2.
Yes, we don't see that advancement of the slide.
Okay, I'm on number 3 now. The one on data science, can you see it?
It's not moving on my end. I don't know about others.
I don't know. Can anyone see the data science in health? The one with the blue circle?
No,
the slides are not moving.
The slides are not moving.
No.
Oh, I don't know what to do now.
Betty, try clicking on the button that you just did to try and put in presenter mode.
Okay. Okay. I'm on slide number 2. Can you see it?
No. Maybe you should just select your slides manually on the left-hand side in order for us to view them as you go.
Or the colleague who offered to show the slides, maybe we'll go ahead with that.
Okay. All right. Okay. The person, or maybe the person who offered to share the slides could share.
Thank you, Betty.
Thanks. Tino, you will present her slides.
Okay, somebody offered to share the slides.
It was Tino. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to try and find your slides.
Okay, can I'll stop sharing now.
Sure. Maybe try stop sharing and start again. Maybe that might improve.
Okay, let me close the video. Maybe it could also be affecting. Okay, I'm starting on slide number 1.
Yes.
Can you see my slide number 2?
Yes, please go ahead. That's fine.
Okay, can you slide number 3?
Yes, we can see that.
Oh, okay. So I think my network was like affecting the quality of the connection. Okay, sure. So yeah, I was just going through the definition of data science, the discipline and the primary goal for data science. And then those are some of the aspects where data science has got use cases in healthcare. Particularly of particular importance is personalized medicine, improved monitoring of patients, especially with connected technologies. We also look at security and communication between patients and healthcare providers. So our research, I'll look at our research for the rest of the slides. I'll look at our research and data science utilization. So our research focus, when I was looking at data science, the keywords that we also capture in our research is big data, where we need a lot of data for when we are using machine learning techniques towards AI for disease diagnosis and other applications in health. We're also looking at machine learning algorithms, which are used for building predictive models for making data-driven decision, AI for data visualization, interpretation, for disease diagnosis and prediction. And my background is communication engineering. So we also looking quite a lot in how 5G and 6G technologies can be utilized to optimize the transfer of health information intelligently inside the mobile networks. And then we're looking also, because we are developing telemedicine applications, we're looking at how blockchain can be used for securing the data. So within our research group, we are implementing a 5G test network that will be used for evaluating and validating and generating evidence of the effectiveness and the efficiency of telemedicine and mHealth applications. So the utilization of data science we see here is we are generating a lot of health data, and this data will contribute towards the development of machine learning algorithms that will in turn be input to AI applications in health. Another project we're working on is we have developed a virtual clinic system, which is now at the final stages of evaluation in the real world clinics. So we also see data science utilization in that area, where we're generating data, and we are also investigating how health data can be stored and accessible for future use in machine learning algorithms. Another project we're working on is we have developed a latent TB screening application using mobile technologies. Because of the shortage of data, I think the issues of data that have come up in the previous sessions, that there is a general lack of data that can be used in machine learning algorithms. So we couldn't go further with the mobile phone-based application. We then switched it to hyperspectral imaging. So we're trying to analyze the interaction of the tuberculin, which is used in latent TB screening, with body tissue and fluids. So we will try to analyze that information using hyperspectral imaging. So again, in terms of data utilization, we're generating health data, and we also applying or developing machine learning algorithms. Another project we have worked on, which was actually concluded last year, is we developed and evaluated a teleaudiology system. The idea was to address the shortage of specialist audiologists in South Africa. So the audiologist we were working with was able to successfully provide diagnostic information, hearing information remotely to junior grade learners here in Cape Town. So again, generation of audiological images and diagnostic contribution towards data science utilization, and the usage of this data for disease prediction through machine learning algorithms. One of our futuristic projects is we're developing a telehaptic system that could be used in remote telesurgery. It's still at its very early stages of development. So in terms of data science utilization, we're looking at generating a lot of data, and we're going to study how this data could be intelligently transferred, because for real-time surgery, this is like a very critical service. So we don't want telesurgery data to compete with other health data, such as MRI or scan or CT scan images. So the idea is for this project was to investigate how the information in telesurgery could be efficiently transferred between a remote location and a tertiary hospital, for example, here in Cape Town, in the rural location. So this project, the project that we are working on, is funded by the European Union through the African Research Initiative for Scientific Excellence, which is in short ARISE, which is implemented by the African Academy of Sciences. So that's all about my work and how it could relate to data science utilization. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bessie, for this interesting talk. I'm sure the folks are buzzing with questions now. So I'm opening the floor for questions. We don't seem to have any other speakers. So please, if you have questions for Bessie, you may raise your hand and unmute yourself, or you may also ask your question in the chat. Let me just scan the chat if you want any questions. I don't see any hands, but maybe I can ask you a question, Bessie. Bessie, you mentioned,
Yeah, sure.
I see audiology and diagnostics. Could you maybe give us an example of how that would work?
Audiology
And diagnostics, yes.
and diagnostics. Okay. The teleaudiology project, we actually worked with the key researcher or the master's student. She's a qualified audiologist. So when they are doing like hearing screening, usually they inspect the inside of the ear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they are using what is called an otoscope. So the otoscope, the image is actually transmitted from the patient, the eardrum, the inside ear of the patient. That image is transmitted to the audiologist, and the audiologist can actually see if there is maybe infection in the ear, or it is occluded with wax, or if the eardrum is damaged. So the audiologist can actually assess if there is something wrong physically with the patient's ear. And also, when they are doing the hearing screening test, they generate a sound which the patient responds to if they hear the sound. So if the patient does not hear the sound, it means they have a hearing impairment. So that's the diagnostic information that is derived from the telemedicine solution.
Okay.
Yes.
So then eventually you could upload these images and then also like the sounds to like a machine learning, and then it will be able to predict like disease outcomes. Is that the longer term?
Yeah, there are two aspects during the hearing screening process. When the first aspect is the audiologist first does an inspection of the inside of the ear. So those the system that we used, which was developed in South Africa, called KuduWave, the system actually captures the otoscope images and stores them in the cloud on the system.
Okay.
Yeah, so the audio, after doing the otoscopy, the audiologist then the system generates some sounds which the patient, let me just share this. I don't know if can I share the screenshot that I can show you?
Yes, please, sure.
Okay, let me just see if I can. Okay, I'm now sharing the teleaudiology system. So you can see on my right, that would be the patient wearing the headset. And in between is the communication network. And then on the extreme left is the audiologist, who would actually be generating the sounds to the patient. So after the otoscope examination has been done, the sounds are actually sent and the patient responses. So when the patient responses, the results of that, the system generates something like a screenshot of the audio, of the wave of the audio signal. So that audio signal generates a certain pattern, which the audiologist can interpret as a hearing impairment or not. So that information, which is a screenshot of the signal, can actually be stored in the cloud and can be used, for example, by knowing that if you send this tone to the patient and the patient has got a hearing impairment, the graph looks like this. So if another patient comes in, and suppose we don't have an audiologist, so if a patient comes in with the nurse at the remote side, at the clinic side, the nurse can actually generate those tones and send them to the cloud, where there is an AI system which actually compares the received audio graph and compares it with the one that will have been fed on the AI system. So by comparing, it can say, okay, this patient's audio graph compares with this one with a hearing impairment. So the system would then send diagnostic information such as the patient has hearing impairment or the patient doesn't have a hearing impairment. So the same thing also happens with the otoscope image. So if the otoscope, if a new patient comes in and we had trained an AI system to detect a damaged eardrum. So if a patient with a damaged eardrum comes in, the picture is uploaded to the cloud. The AI does its magic and compares and gives the nurse a diagnostic system. So by using the AI, we actually eliminating the audiologist to give a diagnostic information to the nurse who would be in a rural area.
Thanks so much, Bessie. That's very well explained. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. And then if there are any other questions?
Any questions from the audience? So basically, maybe one last question from my side. How do we get in touch with you, and are there any resources available on these examples that you've given us, or training materials that we might be able to tap into in future?
Okay. My email address is my first name and surname. I'll put it in I'll just put it here. If somebody can just capture it, I'll just type it here. That's my email address. My first name, my surname @uct.ac.za. And the projects that I have presented, we have quite a number of publications. So if somebody Googles my name, it should pop up like in Google Scholar. These projects will just pop up. The teleaudiology project, we had a conference, an IEEE conference presentation. You can also Google, if you also Google teleaudiology and my name under UCT resources, something can also pop up where some information, also project information has been stored, which is accessible.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Bessie, for all your time. And this looks really interesting. I'll definitely be in touch with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, Danny and Tina, has the other presenters not showed yet?
I don't see Rida or Mustafa in the participants list, Rolanda.
Okay, well, if there's no other discussions from among the members or any questions that they would like to direct to us, then I will have no choice to let you all back to the main room, or you are welcome to join any other room, given that we have a lot of time left.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so folks, so I'm just going to repeat. We have no more presentations in this room. You are more than welcome to join any one of the other rooms or proceed back to the main room.
are funded by either NIH or WHO. And then we need to sort out issues on ownership of data sets and those kind of stuff. And before we can make data available publicly. And of course, you know that we have records. There are a number of ethics that has to do with it, and security and all that. So that has to be sorted out. So that's why I say that availability is the most difficult challenge we have here in Africa. For instance, I have 2 PhD students who want to work, but they can't find the data they need to work. Most of the time, they have to get data that are outside the demography of Africa, and which may not suit the purpose of their research. So that's why I think that availability is the issue. Thank you.
Yeah, I completely understand. We actually have a concurrent session going on right now around OpenMRS. So maybe that would be something to check into afterward. Maybe the discussion on the video from YouTube will be helpful around the OpenMRS platform as well. So that's another area. But yes, I agree with you. This becomes really, really difficult. Michelle?
Thanks for the session and the speakers. So just thinking about Bubukar's comment on digitization of data, and I was just thinking, does the Madiba project not digitize some records? Was it autopsy records, or are they doing that? And
digital autopsy. Yeah, digital autopsy. And but they've had a cohort for some time, all the way through H3 Africa and all of that, to be able to collect information that is pretty rare. But that digital autopsy data that is aligned also with location-based data is really, really interesting for being able to assess longitudinally.
Okay. And then I was just wondering, I mean, there seems to be there's always ads about AI tools that can apparently digitize written text. And I was wondering if, Bubakar, what tools were you using, if any, and are these AI tools any help? I mean, are they useful, or are they just you have to troubleshoot all of them? Or I was just wondering, yeah.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you. So I missed something. When you say you were talking about digitizing the records. How do we use AI to do them, right? To do that, to help. Was that the question?
And are they helpful? Are they working to help digitize?
Yeah. So there are a lot of tools that are being thrown around. The most effective ones are commercial right now, and they are usually not AI based. This is optical character recognition kind of methods. And of course, AI is used to enhance some of those outputs, but I don't think they are freely available right now. Even the successful AI ones aren't freely available. Yeah, but I think it's worth trying. This is what for African researchers to try these AI methods on these kinds of problems, because we should digitize. If we don't digitize the data, it's not useful anymore. Yeah. For data science, but maybe somebody else could have a record of something that they find useful. I find the one you mentioned, the Madiba project thing, was very, very innovative. Definitely, I think we need things like that in a massive scale. Yeah.
These become areas that we're trying to tackle across DSI. But that's when it's so important to bring in people that are beyond DSI to start answering some of these questions. So whether that is through universities, whether that's through incredible entities like MRC that is in the Gambia, but then so much bigger than that, to be able to help us start answering these questions. That's why these partnerships are so critical to fulfilling the mission of DSI, certainly, but really beyond that, to giving more people more access to health, happiness, opportunity in the world. There's a lot on our shoulders, and the data revolution is enabling a lot of that. So are there any other questions at this point? I do see John John, you have a comment in the chat around reducing errors. You want to say more about that?
Yes, please, John, go ahead.
Okay, do you want me to talk about that?
Well, if you have a specific question that we can discuss a little bit more about from your point here,
no,
it is a really important one.
No, I was just trying to answer the person that was trying to say, is it possible for AI tools to be used for some of this scenario? Absolutely, is very possible, and if it can be deployed, it will make things easier for us around emerging Africa, or emerging technology generally, even in developed technology, because like he mentioned, if you can OCR a lot of those documents, then you could do data extraction better and faster. Or you could do entity recognition, which I wanted to send to, which we try and track. I mean, it could even give something like a good summary of it, thousands of documents, so to say, and even give features that are very related or common to a particular community or to a particular data set and so on. So AI tools, if it can be used, will go very well to do some of that a lot.
The availability of those, Bubakar was talking about, just sometimes just not available enough. Even though the potential is high, the availability is low.
That was my issue. It's like we have yes, this is you would have a lot of theses where people have tried to do a proof of concept of these things, but to have them massively working and well, you have specialized companies actually that have very accurate, very high quality one, but they're very expensive for the average researcher in Africa or Ministry of Health or hospital in Africa to use. The other thing is
let's talk. I was just talking to Brad the last meeting before now. Well, maybe after this we'll talk, we can chat. I mean, if we can meet with some Horizon Europe or funded projects, then some of these things we need to start to work on it. It's high time.
Absolutely.
We started to make this to work, because if we can come into Horizon Europe project, then you could get funding. And I remember even one of the projects got 1 year OCR NLP system from Google free for thousands of data, which was using Serbia, it was using Romania, and it was using another country, Lithuania, I can't remember. So it's something that needs to be worked on, but a good proposal needs to be developed around it, so to say. So let's talk.
Yes, let's talk then, John.
John,
you have my
you are highlighting exactly the point of this meeting. Developing those new ideas, talking, putting your information in the chat so you can reach out to people, so you can say, this is a question that is still in my mind, but I haven't been able to fully form it. And I don't want to talk about it, but you can still reach out to somebody after this meeting to be able to delve into these really critical areas. So John, Bubakar, talk. I'm looking forward to hearing the outcomes of that. And another important point, NIH is a very, very important funder in the world, but we're not the only one. There are so many overlaps with the Wellcome Trust. The Wellcome Trust is launching a massive new program around data science on the continent. The Gates Foundation just released a new opportunity around data science.
I heard about that. Really.
Definitely check it out. It's really cool. There are so many different ways that we can start really answering some of these shared questions together. And getting everybody on the call today is a way that we can start learning about each other, learning from each other, and figuring out how to make new collaborations to put in a new funding application or to leverage the work that's going on within the research hubs, for instance, already to take it to the next level. There are so many things that we can learn from the current projects that are funded through DSI, but they are mandated to keep expanding every year that DSI is funded to new partners, not only within academia, but across the gamut of for-profit institutions, of nonprofits, of community stakeholder groups, of new things like bringing in MRC Gambia to do more really important work. We've got not enough work going on in far West Africa. We've got a DSI Africa site research hub in Cameroon, relatively nearby. But that's, we want to keep learning from each other to make sure that we're really coming up with contextualized solutions for the entire continent of Africa, not just the individual sites that are represented. So these kinds of calls are how we do that. These kinds of partnerships, John and Boubacar, are how we do that. Okay, so let's see if there are any other questions. There are no other questions on the chat, but I'm just reading a few more. Let's see. There are some things in the chat that I would encourage you all to look at around, for instance, the opportunity for sponsorship for data science support for faculty and students, and then trying to figure out what to do. NIH is often not the people to ask about that, but the people on this call that represent different universities around the continent are the people to ask those questions to. So if you do have some feedback for David around sponsorship for data science support for faculty and students at universities, if you do have some thoughts about that, I would encourage you to either follow up directly with David. Maybe David, you can put your email in the chat so people can follow up with you about this, or you can respond in the chat. All of those are options. Any other questions, especially associated with some of the challenges that we're facing in West Africa and how we can come together as a group to sort of address those, not only from the data science perspective, but also the very contextualized needs in West Africa? Any other thoughts?
I just wanted to add, when I look at the map for DSI Africa, I thought I was a partner or something. I'm not sure how. I get these letters. I guess I subscribe to the newsletter, so I get the news flash all the time. But yeah, I'm happy. Definitely, I would like to be involved. So I'm happy to talk to people like John. Yeah, Ida was asking. Some people are asking how to collaborate. Just send an email, and we would start from there. When I looked at the Elwazi thing, they're going to create a local hub. And the only one is in West Africa would be in Mali, for instance. We can think of extending that further to the further west, in Gambia, for instance. We would be happy to have that, something like that. So yeah, sure. I think we would be happy to increase the presence in Western Africa, I think.
Maybe I can call on Michelle. Michelle leads our coordinating center. Maybe I can call on her to see what are better ways that the coordinating center in Elwazi can sort of help to make sure that people are getting the right information coming out. Again, the DSI Africa network is critical, but it's so much bigger than just the people that are currently funded. And the mailing list goes out to a lot more people, sending a lot of information. Maybe, Michelle, you can speak to that?
So just, it sounds like Boubacar is already subscribed to the
yes.
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Yeah, so in the previous round of discussions, we did mention that the Partnerships and Outreach Working Group is open to external members, and that group meets monthly and obviously hosts these events. They also host, we also host the face-to-face network exchange, and you are in Gambia, and the next meeting will be not quite near, but the next meeting will be in Kigali. So if you could make it there, if you're in the area, you can attend the open sessions, which is the day one. We have the networking exchange, and then just those sessions, some of those sessions are open to everyone if you're there. And then I think just in terms of what you were saying, in terms of the Elwazi sort of nodes, that there is one in Mali, and you wish that you had something similar in the Gambia. So there were some discussions in the previous rounds about, someone mentioned that because of the federated way that data will be stored and accessed, that it may be a good idea for different, I suppose, institutions. And I don't know if Alwazi would be open to that, but different institutions host their own servers, but it also links to the Alwazi platform. So more servers across jurisdictions, across Africa, will just make access, you know. So maybe that's one thing to explore with them. It sounds like you're thinking about that infrastructure as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying hi, you didn't recognize me. We were in the Indaba together.
Yes, I did recognize you. I did.
It's great to see these collaborations expanding and really learning who the players are to be able to talk to make sure that we are continuing these conversations into actionable grant opportunities, to just even being able to see what's going on is so critical. So we have 5 more minutes left. In that amount of time, do we have any other questions from the group that may be necessary for perhaps Boubacar to answer, maybe Michelle, maybe more generally about how partnerships across DSI Africa work? Any other questions from anyone? Again, this is an informal group, so please speak up. Okay, well, a quiet group at this point, but I do really want to thank Boubacar for your presentation and really discussing what you're doing and how it can really link in more effectively. I do hope, obviously, that we keep these conversations going, whether that's through the partnerships group, whether that's through seeing you in Kigali for our open sessions coming up very, very soon. And then just continuing to learn from each other to make sure that what we're doing is appropriately contextualized by various stakeholder groups, different disciplines, learning from each other to solve some big, big problems in the world. Okay, so with that, I think that we'll conclude. Say thank you all, and then we can all start moving back to the main room. We'll all be moved back there very soon anyway. So we can start moving back to the main room for our final session, highlighting the really cool work that the Chan Zuckerberg Foundation is doing, and then perhaps other funding opportunities from the private sector funding agencies, not just the big NIH public sector funding agencies. Again, we're all trying to solve similar problems together, and different funding streams is often the way that we do that. So thank you all so much for your time in this session, and I look forward to seeing you in the plenary. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Brad. You have a good day.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks for great conversation, John.
John.
Thank you.